Damon Martin, MMA fighting here with one of the top welterweights in the sport, and he returns in a matter of days against Nate Diaz in a 5-round fight at UFC 263. I welcome back Leon Edwards. Leon, how is everything?
I'm good. I'm out in the hot heat. It's like 41 degrees outside, and it's like triple where I came from, But I'm all good. I'm in great shape and great spirit, and looking forward to fight week.
Absolutely. I know this was kind of a weird one because obviously you got pushed back a month. Still the same opponent, still the same rounds and everything. But did that throw anything off for you in terms of training?
Not really, not really. It's got to tone it back a little bit, then pick it back up. That was about it. Just getting the preparation right to peak at the right time. It was only extra month, which is no, it's like 3 weeks. So it was all good. It wasn't too bad.
Considering everything you've had to go through in the last year to get the same opponent and know it was only a month delay, where you kind of like, okay, thank you, because you've had to go through more than anybody in this last year, so at least it wasn't that bad, right?
Yeah, for sure, 100%. Once the manager phoned me and said, "Oh, it's only like a month away," I was like, "Okay, I can do that." Not talking about like another 3 months or a new opponent or new, So it was all good to, like I said, the same guy, same 5 rounds. Is what it is. Now we're here. We're a week away from going out there and competing, and I cannot wait to show the world and to carry on my quest to the title.
Absolutely. Obviously, you had the kind of a weird ending with Bilal Muhammad, but we knew you were going to get a fight soon after that. We had a couple different potential options. Were you surprised when they called you and said Nate Diaz? Because I got to be honest, that came out of left field for me.
Yeah, for sure. I know it was getting like mentioned around the media because he's talking about he wants to fight top guys and winners, and I was the guy winning, So I know he was going like back and forth for a little bit, but when I got a phone call from the manager saying, "No, it's Nate Diaz," I was like, "Yeah, cool, let's go." But I weren't like sure until it's signed, because it's Nate. You might feel like, "No, I ain't fighting." Fuck off again for like another 2 years. So yeah, it's gonna be a good fight. It's signed, it's done. Like I said, we're a week away, and it's gonna be a great fight.
Absolutely. Obviously over the last year, you've called for a lot of big fights. I mean, you tried to get the Colby fight. Obviously try to get the title fight. You tried to get a lot of the guys. Masvidal, we all know about that one. In a weird way, does it work out better to get a guy like Nate Diaz just because he's such a big name? He's such a big draw. He may not have the ranking, but he has the name. He has the attention. And sometimes we got to be honest, Leon, that means more than even rankings a lot in this sport.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. Have a guy like Nate, like you said, is a huge name in the sport, and he's done amazing things in the sport already. So to have a guy like that to lead into a title fight, I think it's the perfect opportunity now for me to capture. To go out there and beat this basically a veteran of the game. They lead me into fighting for the title. I think it's a great opportunity, and I'm grabbing it with both arms.
Yeah. Were you happy with the 5 rounds? Because obviously this is a main event fight. I mean, we got to be honest. This is main event. Most cards. Obviously, with 2 title fights, you're kind of sharing the space there. But are you glad that you still got the 5 rounds?
Yeah, for sure, 100%. I think 5 rounds. I'm better with 5 rounds than 3. That's what my coaches say anyway. So, yeah, I've been preparing now for 5 rounds for a long time. I fought ODA over 5 rounds. Cowboy over 5 rounds. I was preparing for Usman in March. I was preparing for Hamzat for 5 rounds. I prepared for Bilal for over 5 rounds. So far preparation goes, for over 5 rounds, I've been preparing now for a long time, and I'm confident in my cardio, confident in my skill set, and it's going to be even worse for him going in there.
Yeah. What do you expect out of Nate? Because Nate's kind of had a bit of a mixed bag at welterweight. He's obviously had some impressive wins. Taking out Anthony Pettis. You look earlier in his career, he had some wins at welterweight. I don't want to. Obviously Connor fights for a welterweight, but neither one of them are natural welterweights. Connor's really a lightweight. I don't know. What do you expect out of Nate? Because it's kind of hard to predict here.
I think Nate is Nate. What you see is what you get. I can't see Nate now. At his age and how he compete over his career to come and be like a total different fighter. I think he is what you see in his last 5 fights. It's probably what you're going to see in this fight. So he's going to come forward, try to push the pace, and or rely on you getting tired and then climbing on top of you. So I'm in preparation for everything that he's going to bring to the table, and I'm looking forward to it.
as you made your climb, you fought a lot of different guys, but obviously a lot of the guys you fought, you kind of know going in, they were probably going to try to take you down. They wanted to get your striking. Obviously, you're well known for your striking. Obviously, Nate's got jiu-jitsu, so I don't want to like discount that he could go for a takedown, but you kind of know what he does. He sticks a jab in your face. He's kind of constant pressure. Am I wrong in thinking this is kind of a stylistic, like this is like a dream fight in a way, because the way you fight with your striking, the guy who moves forward is kind of the guy that you've eaten alive in the past.
Yeah, exactly. You know, he's even be there for the shots. So I don't have to go looking for him or nothing. He's gonna be right in front of you. He's gonna come forward. He's gonna give his one to take your four, and it's gonna be a great fight. You know, like every time I go against guys like that, that's like to stay on the feet and come forward. I'll pick him to pieces and slice him and dice him. You know, so it's gonna be a great fight, and I'm looking forward to going out there and showing my skills, not just my striking skills, but my martial arts skills, my wrestling, my jiu-jitsu and everything, you know. I'll be testing him and pushing him every single way I can and to get a victory and to claim my world title shot after this fight.
Yeah. It's funny. I was kind of joking after the Bilal Muhammad fight that you came out like a ball of fire in that first round. Like you were, it's like Bilal owed you money or something because you were coming out like a ball of fire in that first round. And you said, 5 rounds works better for you, but is there a part of you that thinks, maybe Nate doesn't make it that far? Because obviously if you go out there and do your thing, and I kind of feel like you got a lot of pent up aggression to let out, and kind of Nate Diaz is the guy who gets to be a recipient. But is there any party that believes it doesn't even go that far?
Yeah, I believe so. I'm going in to stop him, I don't think he can take as much as I think he could over 5 rounds, I know he's probably relying on me getting tired, and then, like I said, from Mustard, I was going to climb on top of him for 4 and 5. But let's say I go out there and batter you from pillar to post for 1 to 3. I've never been stopped in my career. Every time I've fought over 5 rounds, I've got the decision. I've never been submitted, never been knocked out, nothing, So I'm looking forward to it. I'm going in there just as where I left off in March, and I'll carry on like that and to get the victory.
Yeah. In your head, Nate, again, may not be a ranked guy, but he's a huge name. And he's a guy who has only been, right. And I think I'm correct, or maybe twice, but I know one for sure, rightfully stopped. And what I mean by stopped is actually, knocked out or TKO'd. I don't take away Masvidal's win, but obviously we know that was cuts. It wasn't, he got knocked out. Josh Thompson's the one that's in my head, earlier in the UFC. What does it say if you're able to go out there, not only beat Nate, but knock out Nate? Because I know that's what you're going for. And that's a pretty strong statement, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think once I go out there and put Nate away, they'll put the UFC on notice that I am the real number 1 contender. I know Dana came out the other day saying Kobe is getting a title shot, but I don't think he deserves it, So I'm going out there to put on a masterclass against Nate Diaz, put him away and claim my title shot. I can't see how to justify giving Kobe the title shot when I've been here working my ass off for the last, 4 years, 5 years since last getting defeated from Kamaru Usman, So I'll go out there, I'll prove my case again for the 9th time in a row. And then, like I said, I'll hit for the title. I will be world champion by the end of this year, and I can feel it in my bones, and I know it, I think the last year and a half was all for this moment. It's all perfect the way it's playing out now, It's working out as I've meant to work out, and it's going to be a good fight.
Yeah. So you knew exactly where I was going next, Leon, because obviously I was going to ask about the title. And you mentioned, I know that the talk has been Colby, but I think you've heard what Kamaru has said. Kamaru doesn't seem all that interested in running it back with Colby for a couple of reasons. One, obviously broke his jaw in the first one. It's kind of hard to duplicate that kind of performance. And also, two, which I thought was kind of weird. And again, absolutely nothing against Colby, but Usman's fought, I think, 3 times since he fought Colby. Colby's only had that 1 win, which seems kind of weird that, that would go into a title shot.
Ended in an injury, Yeah, it wouldn't ended in an injury from
the rib injury. Yeah. So like in your head, like I know they're saying Colby now, but do you feel like that's just they're saying Colby now until the end of your fight next Saturday night? Is that kind of like the way you're looking at it? Like they're saying Colby until you find out if you get that win.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's what it is. Dan is known to have changed his mind thousands of times. So he says what it says in the media. But I know if I go out there and put on a performance of my life and put Nate away, that will slide me right in the title picture and put me where I belong. So Yeah, like I said, I'm focused 100% right now on Nate Diaz. I'll go out there, I'll do what I need to do on my half, and then I'll go to UFC and who his head and see what I plays out.
Yeah, in your head though, you believe you will be fighting for the title before the end of 2021.
100%, 100%. I believe I'll be a world champion by the end of the year.
Yeah. Well, I know that, like I said, I've talked to Kamaru a number of times, obviously, and it's kind of funny. Professional rivalry is there. Obviously, you have a bit of a vengeance on your mind to, fight him again because it's the last guy to beat you. But there's no bad blood. He's actually said nothing but great things about you. I'm sure you've heard. And like, it sounds like that's a fight that actually interests him. That's a fight that actually gets him out of bed. Whereas I don't know that he's that excited about fighting Colby again, being honest.
Yeah, for sure. I've heard what he said. Like I said, I don't think there's no bad blood apart from competition blood from he's the last guy to of beating me. Got the decision over me. So I just want to get that one back. I believe I could have done way better in the fight. I've shown it over my last 8-9 fights, and yeah, that's all it is. I want to get my win back, be a world champion, and he's just the guy right now that's got the belt, and I'm going to have to defeat him to be a world champion, and that's it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Leon, this is, like I said, this one was not expected, but I love this matchup. And I'm sure you've seen it on social media. I'm sure you've seen the buzz. This is a fantastic fight. Absolutely. Again, nothing against any of the other guys at welterweight, but in a lot of ways, this is bigger. I mean, we just got to be honest with your name and Nate's name. This is just a bigger fight, right?
Yeah, for sure. This is one of the biggest fights in the division, if not the biggest fight in the division right now. So it's going to be a great fight. Like I said, I'll go out there, I'm going to put the performance of my life in, and the crowd going to see, the world's going to see, and the UFC is going to see that I belong in the number one contender spot, and I cannot wait.
Absolutely. Well, Leon, thank you so much for doing this. Obviously, I know it's right before fight week, so thank you as always. Obviously, have a good weight cut next week. I know training camp is over at this point, but have a good weight cut next week, man. Cannot wait to see you back in action. And thank you as always for taking the time for me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.